Hey, so I've been meaning to make this video since I started my van life journey. It's just wasn't really the right time, and what I really wanted to do was talk about how I started this journey. The plan is that I wanna eventually make like a video diary on YouTube about my travels, but I thought that I'd start off by explaining how I got here in the first place. You're gonna have to bear with me because I have a tendency to talk a lot of rubbish. I drift off point. I'll start talking about something random. I also forget what I'm talking about mid conversation, so it's a gift. It's a special talent I have. So be prepared for some like mad rookie editing going on in this video as well. So I wanted to talk about how I started my van life journey. And as some of you might know, I lost my mum in February of this year. I moved to Gibraltar with my mum when I was 15. I was originally born in Norway. I moved to Gibraltar when I was 15 in 2000. Moved there with my mum, and I was living in Gibraltar, have been living in Gibraltar for the past 22 years. My mum, when she passed away very suddenly, very unexpectedly, and obviously there's no sugarcoating her death took a toll on me. I always start this like video recording and I get to this point and I just can't carry on anymore. So there's going to be a lot of tears, and besides I cry over absolutely anything anyway. So, you're in for a ride. When I lost my mum, I lost everything. She was my world. She was my home away from home. And I didn't really realize how much of the glue she was to my life in Gibraltar, my existence, really. My mom was my best friend. She was my mom. She was my dad. She was my guide. She was everything. And don't get me wrong, to my relationship with my mom, it wasn't always, we didn't always have the best relationship. That's something that, we developed after basically going through hell together. I was lucky enough to be able to come out on the other side. And when we did, we came out stronger. And it's a result of that we managed to build the relationship that we had, which was just amazing. So when she left, so did a part of me. And what I've struggled with after she left was finding my feet again, going back to normal. When she died, there was so much to do, stuff that I wouldn't even have thought about. And I'd never been in a situation like this before. I'd never lost anyone that close to me before. So this was, uncharted territory. And when she passed away, all of a sudden, first of all, you have the shock of her not being here anymore, which on its own is something that you can't really comprehend. It took me ages to even realize what exactly was going on, or what had happened. And when she passed away, I couldn't. I didn't know anything anymore. I couldn't. Death changes you. It definitely changed me. Like I said, after she passed away, there was so much to do. All of a sudden I had to think about, her funeral. Does she want to be buried? Does she want to be cremated? What color should the gravestone be? What color does the text need to be? Does she want to be in Norway? Does she want to be here? And there was just so much to do and to think about that I didn't even have time to really process what was going on. And I sort of my reaction was a little bit delayed, because instead of having this instantaneous reaction and breakdown, I sort of just I couldn't get my head around it. It wasn't real. I couldn't understand it. It took me a while to really accept. I couldn't accept it because I didn't get it. I couldn't, and so I had a really delayed reaction, really delayed reaction. And the thing about when she passed away is that, she died, but life doesn't stop. Life doesn't wait for you to be okay. Life didn't go, oh, okay, Lena's mum just passed away. Let's give her some time off. Let's stop the world. Let's stop everything so she can get a chance to get back on track. It doesn't stop. It just carries on. So I was just forced to go back into this normal life, back to work, back to normality, back to fuck, that was so surreal. That's so crazy to me, because my whole world was gone, my whole life was destroyed, and somehow I'm just expected to go back and just sit there and go back to work and just be carry on like normal. What the hell is normal anymore? What was I couldn't get my head around it. But I did. I played the part because, like I said, life doesn't wait for you to be okay. So, her funeral went, and all of a sudden I find myself back to work, carrying on as normal. And in my mind, I was still trying to comprehend what was going on and what was happening. And the thing about the shifting from being messed up, because I was still messed up, and then but also have to be normal, go to your work, do your thing, blah blah blah. This was such a bizarre thing for me, but I played along, and I was fantastic at pretending I was okay for a while. Something like that kind of trauma, it changes you. It changed me. I became very anxious, and I'm not a person that sort of suffers from anxiety. That's never really been something that I've had to deal with, to the point where I had friends who struggled with anxiety, and I never really understood it because I'd never had anxiety myself. But all of a sudden I couldn't reply to messages. I still now find it very difficult to talk to people, to reply to messages, to look at messages. I was anxious all the time. I didn't want to meet my friends. I didn't want to go outside. Something like walking into town was a nightmare. It was a nightmare, to the point where I didn't want to go anywhere. But as I said, life carries on. So what do you do when you feel like your entire world and your existence has completely dissolved, but you're still forced into this roller coaster ride that you don't really want to ride it, but it's just, you have to. And I became angry at people around me. I was envious that people were able to smile and laugh and do normal things. I find myself angry at having to listen to people complain about stupidity and complain about, I went for dinner and I asked for the gravy on the side and they poured it on the plate, and that's outrageous. And I found myself listening to all these people with all their petty problems, and I'm like, how the hell are you complaining about that when I've just lost my mum, my entire world? I was just I started getting frustrated and anxious and angry at the world, angry at myself. You start blaming yourself. You start wondering, is there something I could have done? Could I have done something differently? Could I have saved her? Could I have, it just takes you places that you really shouldn't, and you do because you're just trying to make sense of it. And because you're trying to make sense of it, your mind takes you. Well, it takes you. And I was struggling. But I did it for months. For 8 months, I started a new job. I pretended like I was okay. And I would go to work every day. And I would smile. And I would, because I was working in tourism as well, I found myself a lot of the times sort of, greeting people, hi, welcome, blah, blah, blah. And then they'd go, and then I'd be there with my mind, and my mum is dead, my world is gone, my mum is dead, my world is gone. Hi, welcome, come in, yes. And that's transitioning from going from like, my mom is dead, to hi, how are you, blah, blah, that it was really, really messing with my mind. But I did the best that I could, because what am I going to do? Just give up and not do anything? And I mean, bills need to be paid, cats need to be fed, I need to be fed. Again, what was I going to do? Not participate in this world anymore? Which eventually that's how I started feeling. I started feeling like, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? I don't fit in. I don't feel like I belong anywhere, because, like I said, my mom was my home, and I didn't have my mom anymore, so I didn't feel like my home anymore. And I still struggle with that, because moving from Norway at the age of 15 and then coming to Gibraltar and only have been in Gibraltar with my mum there, that was all of a sudden just a strange place for me now. It wasn't home. She was my home. So I played along, and I would do my best. I would try and put on that smile and go to work. And the thing is, work was the only thing that I could do. I couldn't meet friends. I couldn't reply to messages. I couldn't speak to anyone. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to events. I couldn't go to birthday parties. I couldn't go to anything. I couldn't do anything. So I couldn't. So I'm there, and I am trying to carry on as normal, and I go to work. And the thing is, what I would do is, I would wake up in the morning with that feeling of, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up today. But I would still get dressed. I would go into work, and I would do my best. And then I would finish work. And because every single part of my energy went to just being able to go to work, by the time I finished and I got home, I was spent. I would go straight from the front door, straight in, and I would literally go on the sofa and die there, and wouldn't move until I had to get in the shower and go to work again. So I was essentially just working. But I wasn't even good at that. I wasn't able to function properly. I started becoming so depressed that I started feeling like, what's the point? What is the point? And this feeling of just hopelessness and emptiness, and this what's the point feeling, is a very horrible place to be. It's a scary place to be. And it was eating me up to the point where I don't feel like I felt like I could carry on anymore. And that's when I realized, or knew, that I really I had to do something about it, because I can't be like this anymore. And I also realized when she left how precious time was. And my mum never really got the chance to live out some of her dreams, many of her dreams. Life was hard for her. It's hard for a lot of us, but it was harsh, and I couldn't see myself ending up that way. with my thoughts, with my mind, in that darkness. And I made the decision that if I don't do something now, then it's going to get to the point where I'm going to find it very, very difficult to return. So I was like, I need to do something. And a part of my dream is always, I've always talked about wanting to do van life or traveling and just getting in a van and living off grid and being, free, And this is how my van life journey started, really. I realized that I couldn't carry on the way I was. That is not what my mum would have wanted for me. I know that. I know what she would have wanted for me is to live my life to the absolute fullest. And that is exactly what I intend to do. So one day, I hadn't planned on it. It wasn't my plan. But I went to work. And in any other situation, any other circumstance, I probably would have been able to handle whatever was given to me and move on from it. But I'd had enough. I'd reached my limits. And one day I just walked and I walked out of my job. I walked out of my flat. I walked out on my entire life, on everything. I got myself in the van with my kiddies and I just left. I left everything, absolutely everything. Had I not made this decision, and don't get me wrong, this is the best decision I've ever made. I can only speak from my own personal experience. Had I not done this, I'm not even sure we would be having this conversation right now. So even though that this thing with my mum was traumatic and awful and the grief is still there, I still struggle so much just to get on without her. But if there's one thing that this has taught me is that life is way too short. And now I intend to live it the best, absolute best that I can. I've never fitted in with this 9-to-5 norm. I've spent my entire life going from job to job to job to find my thing, to find what I'm good at. I was looking around and I always see people, they have their thing. They're doing that. They've got their arts, or they've got skills, or they've got a trade, or they've got something. And I've never really fitted in there. I've spent 36 years trying to find my thing, and I never found it. I found nothing but frustration and sadness because I was doing jobs and work that wasn't really meant for me. But this is what was normal. This is what society says you should do. So I guess I got to do it. And like I said, if there's one thing that this has taught me about my mum, is that life is way too short. And the beautiful thing that came out of it is that I managed to break free from that and do something that I really, truly wanted, which is a scary thing to do, because hopping in a van and then just driving off when you don't have no resources, no income, and your van is as basic as it can get, it is scary. This is not Instagram, van life. I don't wake up every day at some beach with a hot cup of coffee and the views, and it's not like that at all. But I am alive. I am living. I am now fighting to survive for me. This is another thing that was driving me crazy. I was dealing with, the loss of my mum, and then I have on the other side my life, where I was paying, for example, specifically the place where I was living, rental prices are so expensive that I found myself, I can afford to pay somebody else's mortgage, but I can't. You go to the bank and you ask for a mortgage, and they'll ask for proof that you can you really meet the payments for your mortgage, because we're going to need like 30% of the cost price of the house to know that. Well, does it help the fact that I've paid rent and somebody else's mortgage for the past, 20 years? That's got to be for something, right? But the thing is, the system is designed in that way for So if you're at the bottom of that chain, like I was, then it's very difficult to get anywhere. And I couldn't I was stuck. I was so stuck. So I wasn't able to climb. I was going to work, and the thought of waking up the next morning to the alarm to wake up so I could go to work, so I can earn money in order to sustain my working life. Do you get me? So I'm not working so I can buy my house or I can do great things with myself and holidays and this, that, and the other. I am working so I can earn enough so I can continue working. For what? For who? You know? At least now, if what I'm doing and I'm out there and I'm trying to survive, I'm surviving for me. It's actually for me this time, you know? So whatever comes my way, whatever difficulties, whatever, bring it, you know? I've now gone through the worst I can ever possibly going through. And at least this time, at least everything that I do, it's for my survival and it's for me. I'm not doing it so I can serve other people richer than me, people better, you know, I can't, you know. So anyway, like I said, there's gonna be mad editing on this clip. I've been rambling on. I did actually, like I said, ramble on and start talking about something completely different. So there's gonna be a lot of editing done. But this is basically the gist of how my van life journey started. What I hope to achieve, like I said, I wanted to start with this video because I do want to make video diaries of my journey, the places I go, the people I visit, what I get up to. I will be doing a tour of my van as well, but like I said, it's super basic. It is literally a box on wheels with a bed at the moment, so there's not much for me to show, but I just wanted to share my experience and how I got started. I would have wished that the circumstances would have been a little bit different, of course. I also wish that I would have had the opportunity to carry on working and to save money so I could have, you know, done the van up properly. But I couldn't anymore. My mental health was at a point where if I didn't get out, if I didn't get out then, I might not had ever gone out. So so it had to be done, and like I said, I'm glad I did it. I don't regret anything. It's a scary place to be though, and obviously, like I said, there has to come a point where I'm gonna have to start doing something to, you know, generate a bit of income. But I'm gonna cross that bridge when I get there. But I just wanted to basically talk about how I started my van life journey. And what I really aim to do with these video diaries is knowing that the trauma and the grief that I've gone through, which, I mean, grief is a funny thing. Grief is a roller coaster through hell. And if somebody saw this video or any of my future van life diary videos, if somebody watched that and I could just either inspire one person or help one person or make one person smile and forget about the crappiness out there, then my purpose for these videos would have been, I would have succeeded. And that's exactly what I want to do and aim to do with these video diaries. So yeah, it'll be worth, if I could just help one person, it would have all been worth it. And that is really what I'm hoping to achieve with these videos. So I do hope that you'll all stick around and see the shenanigans I get up to. I am sure there's going to be many. Like I said, I am skillfully underprepared to live in this van. I've really got no idea what I'm doing. So everything is like touch and go, trial and error. My van is as basic as you can possibly get. I don't have power stations and electricity. I don't have none of that stuff. Like, I may as well be living in the 16th century. Like, that is how bad it is. But guys, I am alive. I intend to go on this journey for me and my mom, and I know that she will be with me every step of the way, which gives me a lot of relief. And I'm now trying to live through her memory, but for myself, and to live that the best that I can for the remainder of the time that I've got left here. I don't know where I'm going to end up, what I'm going to do, to be honest. Like I said, this really wasn't planned out properly. It was sort of like go or you will, you know. So there's going to be a lot of mess. Already has been. Yeah, I really hope that you guys will stick around and watch and see what kind of shenanigans I get up to. So thanks very much, guys, for listening to me blabbering on for a while. I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching my video. Can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. I do have a sort of long-term plan, in the sense that I do wish to end up in Norway when the weather's a little bit nicer. So I do hope to end up in the Norwegian outbacks and forests at some point in May. That's if my van will take me that far, because she's gone quite a while already. So let's hope that she holds up. But yeah, that's the sort of long-term plan. May, I'd like to end up in Norway and stay in the woods, and go back and visit some places that I have really fond memories with my mom. Until then, I'll be staying in Spain. As you know, I'm traveling with the cats, so I need to follow the sun, basically. And right now it's too cold to be in Norway, so we're gonna stick around Spain area, like I said, until around May, and then I'm gonna start driving towards Norway. And hopefully you guys will still be with me then. But yeah, really appreciate everyone that's messaged me and called me and been there for me throughout all of this. I feel like I owe a lot of you an apology for not having been able to sort of respond. I still struggle with that sometimes. It's been 9 months and since she passed away, and if it's one thing that I've learned, is that this doesn't go away. It will never go away. You, I think, just learn to live with it better, and that is what I'm trying to do now. So yeah, I really do hope that my purpose and the aim of these video diaries really will inspire someone else to do and take this leap. I can guarantee you it's not for everyone. Sure, it is not for everyone. But if this is something that you've thought about doing or want to do it. Don't even think about it. Certainly do not listen to other people when they tell you that it's madness, because had I listened to other people, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. So this is a decision that you have to make for yourself. Keep in mind that, like I said, is not Instagram. You don't wake up on some, delicious beach with your smoothie milkshake in the morning. It can be like that sometimes. A lot of the times it's parkings, rest stops. Today I am actually at a petrol station where I'm getting free Wi-Fi, and I had a shower for €3.50, the best €3.50 I've spent into 2022. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos, like I said. So what I wanted to do with this video was basically just tell people about how I started this journey. The aim, like I said, is to just spread a little bit of positivity. If I could inspire somebody to take the leap and join the Vanlife club, and if I could just make somebody's day a little less shitty, then I would have accomplished what I set out to do. So I really hope to see you guys, and thank you again. Thank you.